Welcome to Quiz Class. Today we have a 100-question quiz on world history, and we will be looking at 6 different categories. At the end, please tell us how you ranked with our Quiz Class awards. And our 6 categories are ancient civilizations, exploration and discovery, battles and conflicts, revolution and independence, science and technology, cultural and art movement. And let's start with ancient civilizations. Which ancient civilization is credited with creating the written word? Ancient Egypt, the Indus Valley Civilization, or the Sumerian civilization? The Sumerian civilization. Which ancient encyclopedia claimed to compile 20,000 facts from various cultures? Pliny the Elder's Naturalis Historia, the Roman Encyclopedia, or the Greek Holy Scriptures? Pliny the Elder's Naturalis Historia. Which civilization perfected the art of urban planning? Sumerian, Indus Valley, or ancient Greece? Indus Valley civilization. Which civilization developed the political philosophy of the mandate of heaven? Ancient Mongolia, ancient and early imperial China, or ancient Rome? Ancient and early imperial China. Which civilization built large observatories and made predictions of celestial movements? The ancient Hebrews, the ancient Egyptians, or the ancient Mayans? The Mayans. Which civilization inspired Western literature and philosophy? Egypt, Greece, or Rome? Ancient Greece. Which civilization developed the first forms of silk and paper? The Mayan civilization, ancient Greece, or ancient and early imperial China? Ancient and early imperial China. What were the Romans renowned for in their renditions of roads, arches, and aqueducts? Their simplicity and efficiency, their beauty and elegance, or their sturdiness and strength? Their sturdiness and strength. Which famous Roman temple still stands today? The Temple of Jupiter, the Colosseum, or the Pantheon? The Pantheon. Which civilization had a writing system that remains undecipherable? Sumerian civilization, Indus Valley civilization, or ancient Egypt? This should be the Indus Valley civilization. What did the Romans do with the divinities and rituals of other societies? Ignore them completely, created their own divinities and rituals, or absorbed them to supplement their own pantheon? They absorbed them to supplement their own pantheon. What caused the collapse of the Mayan civilization? A peasant revolt against the corrupt government, a disease epidemic, or drought, deforestation, and soil erosion? Drought, deforestation, and soil erosion. What led to the decline of the Indus civilization? Earthquakes and floods, monsoon cycle stopping for 200 years, or the Aryan invasion? Monsoon cycle stopping for 200 years. What are some possible causes for the decline of Cahokia? Diseases and hygiene, the Little Ice Age, or overexploitation of resources and socio-political unrest? Overexploitation of resources, socio-political unrest. What led to the downfall of the Easter Island civilization? Ecological catastrophe, the arrival of Europeans, or civil war? Ecological catastrophe. And let's go to exploration and discovery. Who was the Venetian explorer known for his book of travels? Amerigo Vespucci, Christopher Columbus, or Marco Polo? Marco Polo. Who helped Vasco Núñez de Balboa discover the Pacific Ocean? Francisco Pizarro, James Cook, or James Cook? Francisco Pizarro. Who sailed across the Atlantic Ocean in 1492 hoping to find a new route to India? Ferdinand Magellan, Marco Polo, or Christopher Columbus? Christopher Columbus. Who inspired the name America? Amerigo Vespucci, Amira Cabot, or Armando Americano? Amerigo Vespucci. Who led the first European voyage of discovery to circumnavigate the globe? Francisco Pizarro, Ferdinand Magellan, or Sir Francis Drake? Ferdinand Magellan. Who explored Central America and won Mexico for the crown of Spain? Philip Avril, Nicolas Barr, or Hernan Cortez? Hernan Cortez. Which continent did Francisco Pizarro explore? Central and South America, Europe, or North America? Central and South America. Who was the English admiral who circumnavigated the globe from 1577 to 1580? Sir Francis Drake, Sir Walter Raleigh, or John Cabot? Sir Francis Drake. Who established a colony near Roanoke Island in present-day North Carolina? James Cook, Sir Walter Raleigh, or John Cabot? Sir Walter Raleigh. Who traveled through Asia along the Silk Road between 1271 and 1295? Marco Polo, Christopher Columbus, or Amerigo Vespucci? Marco Polo. Who charted New Zealand and Australia's Great Barrier Reef and discovered the existence of Terra Australis? Francis Drake, Sir Walter Raleigh, or James Cook? James Cook. What stroke of genius behind the discovery of the wheel determined the concept of the invention of the wheel? The concept of brakes, wheel and axle concept, or wheel bearings? Wheel and axle concept. When did German inventor Johann Gutenberg invent the printing press? Between 1440 and 1450, between 1660 and 1670, or between 1770 and 1780, between 1440 and 1450. Where was the first compass invented and for what? Scandinavia, Viking explorations, China, marine navigation, or Germany, exploration and battle? China, marine navigation. How far does the invention of nails date back? About 10,000 years, more than 2,000 years, or less than 500 years? More than 2,000 years. And let's go to battles and conflicts. Which battle is described as the determining crisis of the contest, not merely between Rome and Carthage, but between the two great families of the world? The Battle of Metaurus, the Battle of Tours, or the Battle of Gaugamela? The Battle of the Metaurus. Which battle is described as the kings of Europe after the lapse of 18 centuries trembled once more before a conquering military republic? The Battle of Marathon, the Battle of Valmy, or the Battle of Waterloo? The Battle of Valmy. Which event is known as the Siege of Orleans? The Battle of Waterloo, Joan of Arc's victory over the English, or the Battle of Poltava? Joan of Arc's victory over the English. What was the estimated death toll of World War II? 118,000, over 6 million, or 35 million? $35 million. How many years did the Mongol invasions and conquests last? 9 years, 19 years, or 199 years? $199 years. During which years did the Second Sino-Japanese War take place? 1937 to 1945, 1941 to 1947, or 1946 to 1969? 1937 to 1945. What was the duration of the Second Italo-Ethiopian War? Almost a year and a half, 7 years, or 18 years? Almost a year and a half. Which war is also known as the Paraguayan War? The 10 Years' War, the War of the Triple Alliance, or the Battle of Darkness? War of the Triple Alliance. Which war is also known as the Venezuelan War of Independence, the Ugandan Bush War, Spanish-American Wars of Independence, or the Franco-Venezuelan War? Spanish-American Wars of Independence. During which conflict were war crimes committed by the Lord's Resistance Army? Uganda and Congo, Syria and Nigeria, or Libya and Kenya? Uganda and Congo. How many deaths were estimated during the Congo Free State? 100,000, 1 million, or 10 million? 10 million. What is the acronym for the organization that administered the forced labor system in the Soviet Union? The Gulag, KGB, or USSR? Gulag. In which country has forced labor been ongoing since 1972? North Korea, South Korea, or Japan? North Korea. What was the death toll of the Cambodian genocide under the rule of Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge? More than 1.3 million, about 2.7 million, or more than 4 million? More than 1.3 million. Which war resulted in the complete destruction of Carthage? The Kurdish War, the Carthage Last Resort, or the Third Punic War? The Third Punic War. And let's go to revolution and independence. Who took power in France in 1799 and continued the French Revolutionary Wars? Louis XVI, Robespierre, or Napoleon? Napoleon. What was the goal of the Holy Alliance formed at the Congress of Vienna? To conquer new territories, prevent future revolutions and restore previous monarchies, or to promote democracy and republicanism? To prevent future revolution and restore previous monarchies. Which region experienced revolutions in 1820? Northern Europe, Eastern Europe, or Southern Europe? Southern Europe. What were the two similar revolutionary waves that shook continental Europe in 1830 and 1848? The Spring of Nations, the Age of Enlightenment, or the Industrial Revolution? The Spring of Nations. What was the first European colony to claim independence during the American Revolution? Mexico, Canada, or the 13 colonies of British America? "13 colonies of British America." What was the French Revolution? A period of religious revival, a period of economic growth and prosperity, or a period of radical social and political upheaval? Radical social and political upheaval. Which rebellion in Australia is controversially identified with the birth of democracy in the country? The Eureka Rebellion, Liberation of Australia, or Australian Independence Revolution? The Eureka Rebellion. Which uprising in India was a major but ultimately unsuccessful rebellion against the rule of the British East India Company? First War of Indian Independence, Bulgarian Revolts and Liberation, or Indian Revolution? First War of Indian Independence. What resulted in the re-establishment of Bulgaria in 1878? Bulgarian Revolts and Liberation, the Bulgarian Civil War, or the First War of Bulgaria? Bulgarian Revolts and Liberation. What event is often considered the first real affirmation of Australia's determination to be masters of their own political destiny? The Eureka Stockade, the Eureka Rebellion, or the Eureka Explosions? The Eureka Stockade. Which revolution is known for its slogan, Liberty, Equality, and Fraternity? The American Revolution, the Industrial Revolution, or the French Revolution? The French Revolution. Which revolution took place in Germany in 1848? The Germanic Revolt, revolutions in German-speaking Europe, or the German-Dutch conflict? Revolutions in German-speaking Europe. Which revolution is often associated with the storming of the Bastille? The American Revolution, the French Revolution, or the British Revolution? The French Revolution. Which revolution is often associated with the slogan, "No taxation without representation"? The American, the French, or the Australian? The American. Which revolution is often associated with the rise of socialism? The Chinese Revolution, the Korean Revolution, or the Russian Revolution? The Russian Revolution. And let's move to scientific and technological history. Who is credited with establishing the ground rules for scientific research? Nicholas Copernicus, Galileo Galilei, or Isaac Newton? Galileo Galilei. Who mapped the double helix structure of the DNA molecule? Max Planck, Albert Einstein and Robert Oppenheimer, or James Watson and Francis Crick? James Watson and Francis Crick. What invention hastened the coming of the Civil War? The steam engine, the locomotive, or the cotton gin? The cotton gin. Who advanced the fields of optics and mechanics and invented the pendulum clock? Christian Huygens, William Harvey, or Isaac Newton? Christian Huygens. Who published groundbreaking theories of heliocentrism? Pythagoras, Galileo, or Nicholas Copernicus? Nicholas Copernicus. Who unveiled the laws of motion? Copernicus, Isaac Newton, or Albert Einstein? Isaac Newton. What was the driving force that powered the Industrial Revolution in the early 1800s? The steam engine, the internal combustion engine, or the hand and water-driven machines? The steam engine. Who invented the stocking frame, a mechanical device for knitting stockings? Abraham Darby, Reverend William Lee, or Jethro Tull? Reverend William Lee. Who discovered the planet Uranus? William Herschel, Eli Whitney, or John Harrison? William Herschel. Who built the first commercially successful steam engine? Thomas Newcomen, James Brindley, or John Kay? Thomas Newcomen. Who invented the flying shuttle? James Hargreaves, John Kay, or Richard Arkwright? John Kay. Who introduced smallpox inoculation after returning from Turkey? Lady Mary Montagu, John Harrison, or Eli Whitney? Lady Mary Montagu. Who built the Bridgewater Canal, which connected Worsley to Manchester? Richard Arkwright, John Harrison, or James Brindley? James Brindley. Who proposed the idea of a specific discipline to deal with the history of science? Albert Einstein, Auguste Comte, or Robert Oppenheimer? Auguste Comte. Who is known as the father of modern genetics? Charles Darwin, Gregor Mendel, or Louis Pasteur? Gregor Mendel. And let's move to arts and culture. What book by Simone de Beauvoir argues that women have been the social and cultural other throughout history? The Feminine Mystique, The Other Gender, or The Second Sex? The Second Sex. Who wrote the book Women and Social Protest? Henry C. Watson, Harlow Giles Unger, or Gita West and Rhoda Lois Blumberg? Gita West and Rhoda Lois Blumberg. Which period is characterized by the use of light, shadow, and perspective to more accurately represent life? Mannerism, Renaissance, or Classical period? Renaissance. Which style is characterized by intricate detail without the disturbing angst of mannerism? Baroque, Gothic, or Rococo? Baroque. Which movement stimulated the revival of classical thinking and had profound effects on science and politics? Realism, Romanticism, or Neoclassical? Neoclassical. Which period rejected Platonic realism as a requirement for thinking and speaking in general terms? Enlightenment, Humanism, or Nominalism? Nominalism. Which style is characterized by decorative and symbolic art? Art Nouveau, Postmodernism, or Modernism? Art Nouveau. Which period largely discards the notion that artists should seek pure fundamentals? Art Deco, Postmodernism, or Realism? Postmodernism. Who wrote the Communist Manifesto? Thomas Paine, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, or Adolf Hitler? Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. Which book argues that political revolution is acceptable when a government fails to protect the natural rights of its citizens? The Republic, The Rights of Man, or Common Sense? The Rights of Man. Which book is considered one of the first works of modern political philosophy? Marie Antoinette, The Prince, or Democracy in America? The Prince. Which book about a man's hunt for the great whale is considered one of the greatest American novels ever written? Moby Dick, Brave New World, for blue humpback whale? Moby Dick. Which of these poems is the most anthologized poem of the last 25 years? The Wasteland, Summer and Spring, or The Red Wheelbarrow? The Red Wheelbarrow. Which of these poems from history is written by Robert Frost? We Real Cool, The Road Not Taken, or Castle of Glass? The Road Not Taken. Who wrote the poems The Applicant and Daddy? Sylvia Plath, Robert Hayden, or Allen Ginsberg? Sylvia Plath. And let's move to our mystery round. What happened to Archduke Franz Ferdinand on the 28th of June, 1914? He started a civil war, he was assassinated along with his wife, or he got married to the Princess of Austria? He was assassinated along with his wife. What major pandemic erupted toward the end of World War I? The Spanish flu, the Black Plague, or swine flu? The Spanish flu. Who led the Bolshevik Revolution in 1977? Lenin, Marx, or Khrushchev? Lenin. What led to the redrawing of the world map? The League of Nations Treaty, United Nations Treaty series, or the Treaty of Versailles? The Treaty of Versailles. When did the stock market crash occur? 1929, 1939, or 1949? (1929). What country did Germany invade that led to the Second World War? Italy, France, or Poland? Poland. What is the name of the International Court of Justice established by the United Nations? The Hague, the High Court, or the ICC? The Hague. After gaining independence, who did India claim allegiance to? The United States, the Soviet Union, or neither? Neither. What event is regarded as having brought a new dawn, not only in Germany, but in Europe as a whole? The end of World War II, the denazification process, or the fall of the Berlin Wall? The fall of the Berlin Wall. In what year did the 9/11 terrorist attack occur? 2001, 1995, or 1989? 2001. And the bonus question, which ancient civilization is known for its grand constructions, such as the Great Sphinx and the pyramids at Giza? Let us know the answer in the comments. And here we have our quiz class rewards. Please let us know how you ranked. And just as a PS, The Bolshevik Revolution was in 1917, not in 1977. So let me correct that. Thanks for playing the quiz. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.